Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of the Lean Muscle Warriors podcast. And today I'm here with an amazing guest. It's such a huge honor to have him on the podcast as a guest today. He's the founder of the Personal Trainer Development Center and the online training academy, where I really got to know him, and he's really impacted my coaching style. And not only from online coaching, but also as a personal trainer. His name is Jonathan Goodman. Hi, Jonathan. How are you today?
What's up, man? I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, where are you calling us from today, Jonathan?
I am in a little pueblo in Mexico called Sayulita.
Yeah, I was
on the
wondering.
West Coast, and yeah, it's on the West Coast. It's like a little surfer kind of beach town. Not so little anymore. It was little for a while. It's kind of been discovered, but yeah, we're living here for a few months.
That's so cool. I know you love to travel, and that you don't do well with the cold winter in Canada, don't you?
I do not, man. I need to be active all year round, and in order for me to be active, it has to be convenient. That's one of the things that I've recognized about myself. It's like I don't actually care that much about what I do most of the time, as long as I do something, as long as I move. And the more convenient it is for me, the more I move, right? So, like I'll ride my bike in Toronto, Canada, where I'm from. I'll ride my bike to my office.
Yeah.
But just as an example, like the week before I came here, I couldn't ride my bike due to ice, which meant that I missed out on 15, 20 minutes each way, which meant I missed out on 2.5 hours of exercise that week, right? I also couldn't do my cardio because I was running outside because I don't have cardio equipment, which meant I missed out on 2 jogs, again, due to ice. So that alone is 3.5 hours of movement that I missed purely because the weather was bad.
Yeah.
Over the course of a 5-month winter, that's 70 hours of movement. That is just gone.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. Think about that, think about the effect of that year in and year out on your long-term health, mental health, physical health, on just your longevity, beyond the physique, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's not so much that I hate the cold. I actually don't mind the cold. I'm Canadian. We kind of grow up with the cold.
Yeah.
And I miss playing like ice hockey, right? But the pros don't outweigh the cons, right? Yeah. For me to be able to stay active all year round is way more important.
Does that is it just the fact that there is ice on the streets, or is it also like a motivational thing that, of course, I guess having a sunny place in the background impacts your motivation to train?
It's a good question. I don't know. I've always been one who's kind of been very self-motivated, very intrinsically motivated. I'll wake up, even now, I came to Mexico, like everybody here is on holiday.
Yeah.
I wake up, my alarm goes off at 6 a.m. I'm the first person in the gym when it opens at 7. So I'll wake up, I'll have a coffee, I'll read for 45 minutes, and then I'll be in the gym right at 7. And I'll be back home basically around the time that my wife and son, I've got a 3.5-year-old, that my wife and son are waking up, right? And it was the same thing in Toronto when it was the winter. I was training out of my sister's basement, who lives like 10 minutes away from me because she had some equipment.
Yeah. With
the COVID lockdowns, the gyms were closed. And so, I could will myself to wake up. Like I wasn't happy about it, but I could will myself to wake up even when the weather was crappy, right? At 5:45 in the morning to be at my sister's at 6 so that I'm home at 7:15 so I can switch off with my wife who can then go work out at 7:30. So I could do that. I mean, obviously I don't enjoy it as much, but one of the nice things about forcing myself to do that type of thing in the morning is it kind of aligns the rest of the day really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to be in bed by 9 p.m. or else I'm just finished.
Yeah.
Which means that I'm in bed at 9 p.m. reading a book, right? So if you know that you got to be in bed at 9 p.m., Well, basically nothing, for most people, nothing useful ever happens after 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah, I totally agree. I
So
totally
this
agree.
just eliminates that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is just being honest, because when sometime it happened to me that people told me I don't have time, but actually, like, yeah, as you said, from up 10 p.m. afterwards, there is nothing productive to be done. And I'm curious, like, when you wake up that early, if I don't remember wrong, you drink some coffee.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I will do, I like cold brew coffee a lot, which is
Yeah.
actually what I have right now. But I'll do, like, if I'm working out at home, I'll usually have like a cold brew.
Yeah.
Here, yeah, I have a hot coffee mostly because there just isn't really good cold brew. Like the one that I have right now just isn't very good. And it's like the only one in town. But I just wanted it, so I went and got it. And also my friend's place where I'm at right now wanted one too, so I picked one up for both of us on my way over. But yeah, I will usually have coffee before I train. If I'm just doing cardio first thing in the morning, sometimes not. But if I'm doing weights, I kind of like it. But I also, you know, like this is my second coffee. I'm done my second coffee before noon for sure.
Yeah.
Usually before 11 a.m. in the morning. And then I'm done coffee for the day. Because if I have it too late, I just can't sleep.
Yeah. I've got the same. I try to don't drink coffee after 3 p.m. But you know,
But you
Jonathan,
must have like some badass like espresso. You seem like an espresso kind of guy who grinds his beans and like does it right.
you know what? Now we are drinking coffee from a coffee machine, but we are temporarily staying at my girlfriend place, parents' place.
I'm upset with you. I'm upset with you. You can't have an accent like you have and drink coffee from a coffee machine. That's not allowed. That's not allowed, man.
This
Straight
is all
up.
I can do. But yeah, you see, I'm a little bit of an unconventional Italian, and I don't defend, you know, an espresso so bravely. But yeah, you know, Jonathan, I'm always wondering, like, how do you define yourself? Are you a writer? Are you a coach? Who are you?
I have no idea. I'm definitely not a coach. I'm
Okay.
definitely not a coach. In fact, one of the realizations that I came to many, many years ago is that I'm a terrible coach, which a lot of people are surprised at. I mean, because I effectively run 3 coaching businesses. You know, we've got 2 business coaching businesses and then 1 fitness coaching business. I don't coach in any of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was a personal trainer for 8 years, but the reality of it is I'm not a very good coach. I'm really, really, really good at identifying problems, building a strategy to tackle that problem, and coming up with an idea to basically take it from nothing
Okay.
to like the first phase of success.
Yeah.
And then I got to get the hell out because I'm actually terrible at running things.
Okay.
So, you know, I think the bigger question of like, how do I like identify myself? I don't actually have any idea what to call myself, but I'm definitely not a coach.
Okay.
And I'm somebody who spent a lot of time in figuring out what I'm good at, where I thrive and where I don't, and building the structure around me to pick me up where I don't, right? So I know that I'm terrible at running things. So I don't run my business, right? My entire job in my business is to basically read books and come up with ideas.
So wait,
like that's kind of all that I do, right?
Let's take a step back. Let's say you're starting. I know you've been a personal trainer, so you started working as a personal trainer. And when did you realize that you wanted to, like, basically that the fitness industry needed help? Because trainer actually, I know many trainers who are great trainers, but they have bad systems. So they can't communicate properly, and they can't set up certain things, their finances, their marketing. And like when I first joined the OTA one, like what amazed me the most was this way of coaching and doing the job very client-centered, and but as well like prioritizing the time. So really, like, when did you realize that the industry needed your help?
If I'm really honest with you, man, I realized that I needed help way before I realized that the industry needed help.
Mm-hmm.
I started a website called the Personal Trainer Development Center,
Yep.
which was like 2011, which was my foray into online fitness business stuff, right? I started that because I wanted something outside of the gym. I knew that personal training, I mean, I was a personal trainer for 8 years. I liked it, but I knew that it wasn't going to be what I was going to do for the rest of my life. So I was like, I got to make money some other way. It wasn't like, oh, the industry needs help, I need to help, but it was like, I got to do something for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is perhaps less agnostic, or less, you know, helpful to other people as I would like to be, but it's the truth.
It's honest.
And then as I started to write a lot more for personal trainers and start to meet a lot more trainers internationally, I was like, yo, the problems that I encountered are really common. We got to build some systems to help this. And so it was after I started writing it. I started writing and educating trainers because I wanted to make money for myself, right? While I didn't have to personal train. But then I realized that there was really serious problems with the industry. Now I know worldwide. You know, I'm talking to you in Italy, right? It's not just in Canada. I mean, I was at like a small boutique gym in Toronto. I didn't know anybody else. I didn't have a network. So I didn't know that these problems were international.
How many people are in the, how many trainers have you helped from 2011 building their online business and improving their personal training services?
I have no idea. We have sold, I don't know, it depends what you consider help, right? Like direct online training, I think it's over 40,000 now. If you consider like just pure items sold, you know, like we've sold, God, it's got to be close to 200,000 now, educational items to personal trainers worldwide. When you include all the books and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know how many individuals that is, right? I don't know. I don't really count. But it's somewhere around there.
Okay. And yeah, well, we can argue that everyone who read the information in your courses and in your book and implement them in their businesses, they're gonna benefit in some way for sure. I
would certainly hope so.
I
really don't want to take anybody's money if they're not going to benefit. You know, it doesn't seem like a fair exchange to me. But I mean, I'm also realistic in that, like, not everybody will benefit from everything that we do, of course, right? I think that's the job of anybody who does anything with business, is that, you know, do your best job to get your materials in front of the people, your product or service, whatever it is, in front of the people who can really benefit from it, and be very honest about what people can't. You know, like, who is this not for? I think is just as important.
And the cool thing about like how you deliver your content is that also you put out there a lot of free stuff, and you are very consistent with it. And in a way, I can see where you're doing really well, because in a part of your job and my job, we are similar as a content creator, and I can see how challenging it is. So I can bet you running like 3 international businesses, being a dad, a husband, like you're now training yourself very seriously. Like, how do you do that?
Which part?
How do you keep being consistent with your creating content?
It's systems, dude. It's systems. You know, it's a matter of identifying, I guess, what the priority is, and it also doesn't happen overnight. Been very, very. I've done a reasonably good job of this over the years. Not as good as I would like to, but better and better and better every day as we keep trying to improve it. Which is like trying to figure out where we want to really attack and where we just don't care about. So, okay, the blog. You know, we're going to do written content. I don't care about video. Right. For like the first 7 years, we had a Facebook page and we had a blog and we did email marketing. Right? We didn't do Instagram. We didn't do video. We didn't do anything. Did that hurt us? Probably. But it also meant that now we have the biggest blog in the world for personal trainers.
Fantastic.
So now we can go and build an Instagram account, right? And we've got like 73,000 people on there without really doing a very good job on it even. So now this coming year, we're going to start doing a better job with it, and you'll see that page blow up.
Yeah.
And so, and we have a podcast that's doing well too, and we're having a lot of fun with now. But my point is, like, now we're at the point where there's a manager in charge of each of those verticals, of each of those platforms.
Yeah.
And then a supporting team and a protocol for each of them, right? You can't do all of it at the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's kind of built up that way. And also, like, relinquishing control, I think is very important for anybody who runs a business as you start to grow, is understanding that you can't do it all, and it doesn't, and when other people take over it, there will be things that will happen that aren't ways that I would do it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's worse. You know, they put out content in a different way, or they speak a different way than I would. It doesn't mean that it's worse. In fact, sometimes it's better, which is actually a knock on the ego.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, I think this is bad. And then people respond to it positively. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm wrong. And so, and then the final part, which I guess is maybe a little bit more helpful to anybody listening, is just, what's a priority sequence? For me, fitness has to come first. I find that no matter what I do, whenever if I move to a new place or something new happens in our life that kind of like upends our schedule, whatever it is, the first thing I always do is figure out what my workouts are going to be like for that period of time, when they're going to happen. And I put that in my schedule first. And then I build everything else around it. Because I feel better, I think better, I sleep better, I love better, I'm a better dad, I'm more, like, everything is better when you work out, right?
Sure.
The second is, and I say work out like exercise, like do whatever you want to do for you, right? But everything is better when you have that. And it also aligns the rest of your day. It forces good habits the rest of the day.
Yeah.
If I know that I got to train in the morning, I'm not going to drink beer at night because I know I'm going to pay for that. Right.
Right.
And so, I might have a beer or two Saturday night because Sunday's my day off, but I'm not going to have it during the week. And so it just kind of aligns everything else. So the fitness, so to me, it's a matter of if you're trying to like figure out how to fit everything in, you've got to look at what your priorities are, right? And so for me, it's, okay, fitness is always my number one priority. Then I have 2 work priority blocks over the period of the day that are like an hour each.
Okay.
And then I have all the minor stuff that, like, if I don't get done in a day, doesn't really matter. But if I find extra time, I throw it in. It's kind of it.
I love it. And
I mean, I maybe do like an hour and a half, 2 hours of good work every day, to be honest.
Sure.
And that's more than most people do. If you actually look at like most people who work for themselves, who run their own businesses, even if it's like their own business working for themselves, how much time do they actually spend doing really important work every single day? It's probably less than half an hour. Mm-hmm. They're busy, but they're not doing important work.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. And like before, you said that for you to keep being consistent with your fitness, it has to be a priority. So it has to be something that you think about and that you plan. Is this something, like, I have to be honest, this for me is something that I learned just recently, because before being a personal trainer, I was a gym rat. So I was always at the gym. So it was like, the gym is there. Yeah. I cannot not train. And plus it's been a passion. But since I stopped being a personal trainer at the gym, I realized the challenge. I realized the struggle. Some people, they don't make it a priority, and they struggle to be consistent with it. Is this something that you learn from the early days?
I just laugh at the type of stuff I used to tell my clients, man. I was like a 22-year-old single guy with nothing to do, and I'm trying to tell my 40-year-old business owner with 3 kids with sick parents, like, that they need to make time to work out.
Because it's important.
My total, and it is important, but like the way that I communicated it to them, like, my total lack of understanding of their situation is just funny looking back on it now. Right? And, but yeah, I mean, it is. And that's why I say, to me, convenience is probably the number one thing when it comes to fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And when I travel, I mean, I take this so far. When I travel, I choose where to live, because when I travel, I usually stay in a place for a month or 2 months, right?
Yeah.
I choose where to live based on fitness access. Like literally, I will not book a place unless there is, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a gym, right? When we stayed in Madrid in Spain, for example, we stayed just outside of Rotemmo Park, which is like got great outdoor workout areas. So we could go there and work out outdoors every single day. But like, it has to be convenient, because there's no way in hell. It's like, you know, when the gym shut down in Toronto, I'll give you an example. One of my neighbors, who I'm very good friends with, him and his wife, you know, were trying really, really hard to get back into shape. And so when the gym shut down, they decided that the best thing to do was going to be to drive 40 minutes outside of Toronto, where the gyms are still open, and hire a trainer out there. Well, no shit, that only lasted for a week and a half.
Wow.
You have 2 kids under the age of 3. You both have busy jobs. You're talking about an hour and a half commute to go work out. There's no way that that's staying up, right? They would be better buying 20-pound dumbbells in their basement and a workout DVD,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and just doing something, anything. So to me, it's a matter of identifying the priority sequence of saying convenience is number one, right? Everybody's trying to optimize and do the right thing when it comes to working out. It's like, that's cool, man, but that comes later, right? Get into a routine first, get into the habit first. And this is what a great trainer will do. You know, like a great trainer won't say, this is the best way to train. They'll say to you, hey, let me talk to you about what you got going on now. All right, here's how we're going to build this up with you, right? Here's what we want to ultimately be. Here's how we're going to get there.
Yeah. Is that so basically, guys, Jonathan, he's owning a coaching business as well. And he's one of the clients too. Is this?
I am. I was like, I'm coaching. I want a great online coach.
Yeah.
And the way that I want it to be structured, doesn't really exist. And so what's the best thing that you can possibly do? What's the best way to build a business is to build a business that fulfills your own need. Well, I built a business that fulfilled my own need, and then we're just running it as a business, and I'm one of the customers.
Yeah.
It's great.
I love it. And this is also like I have to say, like, having a coach is great. You have someone.
I love being told what to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like you are following a path. You have someone keeping you accountable. So yeah, I love that. You
I don't want to go into the gym. I got enough things to worry about. I got enough things to think about.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into the gym and think about what I should do, and think about what I did next time, and think about what I should do the next time in order to progress, and doing all the calculations and figuring out how the exercises mesh together and all that. I mean, I could do it, right? As I was just a coach for long enough, I could do it. I don't think that I could quite do it as well as the coaching program does, because just our coaches are so dang good. But like, I could do it for myself. But you know what? I got enough stuff to do. I'm quite happy to acquiesce responsibility here and let somebody else take it on.
And this is just purely about curiosity, but are you working to something particular with your coach? Do you have any goals?
Not really. I mean, I started on a 12-week hypertrophy program just to put on muscle. Now I'm on a 12-week fat loss.
Yeah.
So anything particular? I mean, not really. I'm enjoying seeing my body change for sure, but I've always been lean. My issue has always been putting on weight, you know, so I'm not
Cool.
I'm not, I mean, I don't even measure or weigh myself or anything like,
Yeah.
that doesn't matter to me. You know, I see the weights going up, or particularly with cardio stuff has been kind of fun because I've never really done any cardiovascular programming. Right. And so having somebody actually do really well put together cardiovascular programming for me and seeing that aspect of my fitness build up for the first time really ever. You know, I'd go for jogs. I'd go for like a 5-kilometer jog, but to be able to work in different heart rate zones and see that building up and be like, all right, last time I really struggled, you know, doing 6 intervals. Well, I did 8 today and I felt pretty good. Well, that's pretty cool.
That's super cool.
Right. You know, I can do 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers,
Yeah.
no problem now. And that's pretty wild. I mean, I haven't tried it and I probably never will, but my guess is I could probably do something close to a marathon now without even training for it. Just because of the program, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And yeah, it's like fitness at different levels. And Jonathan, like in your life, I'm curious, what's the sub $100 investment or purchase which has the most impacted your life?
Right here.
There you go.
The Casio watch.
I had one of those.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
I love my watch. And this watch is a Casio. It's actually $20.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. I love what it does. I use it a lot. So I use it in my workouts. You know, breaks and stuff like that are timed really, really tightly, of course. And so I use it for that. I use it as an alarm. I like the fact that it's a battery. There's a lot of reasons why I really love it. I really don't want any like wireless signals in my bedroom. I don't want any electronics. I don't want stuff plugged in my bedroom. And so I use my watch as my alarm because it's a battery, right? So I lay it down beside my bed. It lights up. It's my alarm. I don't want to use my phone as my alarm. I don't want my phone in my bedroom. So that's one reason. The other is this thing will basically never break. It's like $20. I don't need to worry about it. I don't want to have anything on my wrist that I care about breaking, that I'm worried about losing. Like, that's just not a way that I want to live. And also, I don't have any tattoos. A lot of people have tattoos that kind of reminds them about, you know, important messages of their life. The watch to me is one of those because it reminds me about the power of simplicity and the power of just eloquently solving a problem, right? Casio was the first digital watchmaker in the 1970s. They haven't changed a goddamn thing since then.
Fantastic.
They perfectly solved the problem, right? The design hasn't changed. The features haven't changed. The thing tells the time, tells me the date, lights up a little bit, has an alarm, has a timer. What else does it need to do?
That's all you need.
So it's perfect. So it's just such a reminder every time I look down at my wrist of just eloquence, solve the problem as simple as possible, break it down into its principles of what you want to do.
It's so cool because like you just said something, and I have it written here on my visual board. How would this look if it was easy? And this is like one of the message from one of the certification that Jonathan Goodman is owning and managing and selling and doing really well with.
So so I try to like live by that and have symbols that remind me that. So when you ask like what's a purchase under $100, I mean,
that's it.
It does everything that I needed to do.
Yeah.
Right. And it allows me to remove myself. Like, I don't want to be connected all of the time. Everybody's like, oh, an Apple Watch, you can get your messages and your messages. Like, I don't want people to access me. Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story. I was at the bank before I left for Mexico. I went and got some like Mexican currency because it's just, we had to buy coming here, we bought 75,000 Mexican pesos.
Yeah.
So, I basically like tracked the currencies, and when it was a favorable exchange, I went and got it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Go to the bank, and I ordered the Mexican currency, and he said, cool, do you have, can I just double check that the phone number that we have for you on file is the right one?
Yeah.
And I said, yep, that's the right phone number. But if you call, I'm not going to answer, and I don't have an answering machine. And he said, well, how will you know when the currency is ready for you to pick it up? It's like, well, it takes 7 to 10 business days. So I'll just come here in 3 weeks or so, whenever it's convenient to me. And he's just like, yeah, I guess that works. I'm like, life is way better when people you don't know can't get a hold of you.
Yeah.
And he just laughed.
I love that.
My wife can get a hold of you, right? But I don't want the bank to be able to call me. There was literally not a single reason why I need to pick up the phone for the bank.
True. Yeah.
So I just don't have an answering machine.
I never
pick up my phone.
I love this story. And Jonathan, like during all your career, but as well, like just like in your life, what would you tell like a Jonathan Goodman of 10 years ago as a piece of advice?
I don't know. I'm having fun. Probably like take a bit better care of my body. I realize now, I'm 35 years old. I'm not old, but I realize now that, man, your body starts falling apart if you don't take care of it. So probably just like beat myself up a little bit less, do a little bit more recovery work, do a little bit more cardio, do a little bit less weights, all of that kind of stuff. But I mean, I wasn't bad, but definitely more aches and pains, and I have to be more careful now than I would like to be because I was a bit stupider than I should have been when I was younger. But I was trying to impress girls, so whatever. It is what it
is. Trying to get those guns. That's
well, that's what girls like, right? Girls like biceps.
That's what I say.
Yeah, that's what I'm told. Yeah, that's what I'm told. Yeah.
Jonathan, where can people find you?
Personal Trainer Development Center if you're interested in the fitness industry. Online Trainer Academy if you're interested in the certification. If you like podcasts, we've got the Online Trainer Show, which I don't know, call it a half comedy, half business podcast, I guess.
It's hilarious, and very helpful as well.
I try to make it like more comedy and less business, but I think we do like probably 50-50. Yeah, that's cool.
And are you working on anything in particular for 2021? Anything new?
Yeah, we've got some super exciting stuff, but I don't want to talk about it.
I was hoping you could make an exception, but I respect.
I'll tell you offline. I'll tell you offline, man. I'm happy for you to know, but I'm not.
Let's wait for the drum roll.
Willing to talk about it publicly yet.
Okay. Cool. Jonathan, it was such an honor to have you here as a guest. And I wish you a great staying in Mexico. And good luck for the future and for 2021.
It's great chatting, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening to today's episode of the Lean Muscle Warriors podcast. For today is everything from me, Francesco Pavone, your host, and from Jonathan Goodman. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.